right now we are moving on to Mr. Miikka Palvalin, who develops the studies in game analytics in top floorball. So in a sense, related to Sami's topic in quite many ways. So I'm not sure if Miikka is still ready, but once we get him going, please be active. Send your questions through the chat window we have there open throughout the remainder of the day. And after Miikka, at 3:30, we will have Mikko Pohjola, the Director of Research and Development of Eerikkilä, to talk about holistic floorball coaching. And now it seems that Miikka Palvalin is ready. So Miikka, the floor is yours.
Perfect, thank you. It's really exciting to be here and have a presentation after this wonderful presentation before me. And it was really nice to see that many of the previous presenters referred at least at some level to these game analysis and analytics topics. So here will be something more on that. Before we go to actual topic, I want to teach our international guests Finnish word which means tieto, which is tieto, T-I-E-T-O. It means everything under data, information and knowledge. So we can call in Finland data, we call it tieto. Information, we call it tieto. Knowledge, we call it tieto. It's very simple. We can call everything tieto. Of course, we have our own words. We also use data as data in Finland, information and information also. But I think this is very, very nice concept to have only one word describing everything under it. I give you a short example on this. Data. You would describe my name, Miikka Palvalin, as a data. Maybe you could consider that even a single letter is called the data, but let's keep in this example that Miikka Palvalin is the data. So now you know what is data. But if you want to make the data to information, we need to add something that describes what is this data. So for example, in my example, we could add postdoctoral researcher at Tampere University. So then you know it's my name. I'm working in the Tampere University. I'm working in the unit of information and knowledge management, which of course in Finland we call it like tieto management, tiedolla johtaminen, or tietojohtaminen. So that's why these terms are very important for me. And in this presentation, I'll show why it's also important to you to know all these. But yeah, we just defined me as that my name is and data is Miikka Palvalin, and when we added information is my name. I'm working at Tampere University. If we want to make it more like knowledge, we could add more information to it and make it like more knowledge, more levels of information. So we could add. I'm also working as a coach for Classic. I work there with analytics and also player development. And I work as a coach also for the under 21 team. And in addition to that, I also assist Finnish Floorball Federation with the game analysis and analytics stuff also. Yeah, so even after my presentation, you probably know even more knowledge about me, but that's probably not the most interesting topic here. So I also hope that you will know and have more knowledge on key elements in floorball game analysis as well. Yeah, as you probably guessed already, the game analysis is the topic, but we could also use it and extend it probably with the analytics. So the view for this game analysis is quite analytical, and we add the data also to the game analysis. But of course, we still need to remember all the knowledge that all the coaching stuff and the players have. So it's not just analytics, but analytics is maybe the newer topic or newer addition to this topic. I know some of you probably hate the analytics and all the numbers and stuff. Some of you probably like it or love it and are like, yeah, woohoo, this is good. More numbers. This is very interesting. And I hope I have something for both of you groups. yeah, to them who were waiting for numbers, here are the numbers. As you can see, 5/game, 5.4 game, 82%, 40%. So here are the numbers, and here are the data. But probably already now, many of you know that the data is that's not enough. This doesn't tell like anything. So we probably need to add something for it to make it information, make it more valuable. So for example, in this case, dangerous counterattacks, 5 per game. So this tells a bit more. We know at least now that the 5 per game is amount of dangerous counterattacks in game. Dangerous is called here like this 2 versus 1, 3 versus 2 kind of situation when there is uneven amount of players from both of the sides. Okay, this one. Okay, we have gained 5 counterattacks per game, and we have given 5.4 counterattacks in game. Okay, more information. We know these are almost similar, but for different teams. This tells us a bit more. We get a bit less amount of counterattacks than the opposing team, but pretty even. This also probably tells something about our readiness to defend when we lose the ball, or our readiness to attack when we get the ball. By the way, when you go to the men's international level, the amount of dangerous counterattacks is about 2.7 in a game. So it's really low. It's very rare to get like this 2-on-1 attacks and such. Okay, 82%. And we know this is ball passing percent success rate. So 82% of the passes will go to the person who is receiving the pass. And here, as a side knowledge, I can tell you that these all the passes between like defender to defender are not counted, but here we have counted all the numbers that are like important passes that change the way of the game is played. Okay, 82% ball passing success percentage. If we add more knowledge on this, maybe I can tell you that this is actually for our team under 21. If we go to F-Liga, the average percentage of this, if we go to the top 4 games, when top 4 teams play against each other, it rises about to level of 86%. And if we go to the international level on men's floorball, it goes above 90%. So there is like clear difference how many balls are lost when the level of playing increases. Okay, the last one, 30%. Okay, now we know we get the information label there. So we know rate of shots blocked. So we know our team blocks 40% of the shots. Sounds pretty good. All the shots that are coming towards our goal, we block 40% of those. And actually, this is the same number that is average on F-Liga. 40% of the shots are blocked. What is good knowledge in addition to this, is when our team shoots, the opponents are only blocking around 29% of the blocks of the shots. So we are winning out at this. Why I took this one here is that this is one of the findings that we have found with this game analysis of F-Liga games during this year, that usually the team that blocks more or shoots less to the block will win the game. There is a clear correlation between those two. So probably you shouldn't shoot in a place when it gets blocked. Or maybe you should try to block it more. Is this enough knowledge? Let's see. Yeah, I think we still might have some people that are skeptical towards analytics and numbers, measuring things on the field. They might say that, yeah, but I'm experienced coach. I know everything. I can see, I understand the game. I don't need numbers. Yeah, could be. But what about your players? Do they know how much they understand? This example of player Alpo Laitila, who has been honored to coach for 5 years now, in addition to all other wonderful persons that we have in our team. How much he knows? How much one player can know about the game? Probably not too much, because human has like very limited capacity to see things. It's quite difficult to see behind your back, for example. In the field, there are like 10 players plus goalies plus ball, and even the 2 referees. Is it possible to see all of them at the same time? I think that's at least quite difficult. We also have some biases in our thinking, which I will come later also. And with this limited ability to see things, we usually focus on the ball pretty much. So that's why we get and understand what is happening with the ball and close to the ball, but what is happening in other parts of the field. That's probably, and usually the things that we don't know that well. And because it's quite difficult for humans to handle all this information that is coming through the eyes to the brains, we usually try to simplify things to make it easier to understand, easier to explain for us. For example, we could simplify that Alpo, who is a very good player, he was representing Finland in the U19 tournament and was selected to All-Stars. And he was also played his first game for men's international team in this autumn EFT tournament. And one of the strengths that he has is that he's very good with the ball. He's very high skill level, can move with the ball very fast and turn around very fast, and has very good hands. So we might profile him as a very good player with the ball, to make it easier to understand and easier to communicate, maybe even. That's also quite dangerous, because there is also this thing called halo effect, which makes us think that when we know that Alpo is very good playing with the ball, we tend to think that he's also very good in everything else too, which is probably not the case. For example, is he good with the defending when he is good with the attacking? Those are not like related. Of course, he is quite good at defending, but that's still an ability that we are working with him in our player development process. And the last one of the biases is the confirmation bias. We also see usually what we want to see. So, for example, in this Alpo's case, we know that he's very good with the ball. He can do many tricks with the ball. So we usually see all the tricks when he does them. But what we maybe don't see or even don't recognize that well is that when he loses the ball, especially compared to the one other or some other player who we have the feeling before the game that he usually loses the ball. So when we follow this player that loses usually the ball, we usually see when the player loses the ball, but we might not actively understand or recognize when he plays well with the ball. We just count on the last when he loses the ball. So our brain likes to, in a way that what makes it easier for the brain, and that's why it does these things that when explained sound very silly, but we can't do anything on that. These findings are part of the amazing work of Daniel Kahneman, which was combined and published in 2011. Okay, I hope we are now more on the same page with the analysis and why we need to do it, because we don't see anything. Our brain makes it very difficult. And the computers, while they have their limitations, they also have some advantages that we don't have. Okay, collecting the data. This has been referred earlier today, and this is pretty problematic topic, and many of you probably think that but collecting data is very difficult. It is, but here are some different solutions, and then we can discuss more about is it actually difficult or not. First, we have this thing that's available all of us, which is pen and paper. That is good. I think that's good. That's enough, at least, I think. If you want to expand it, we can use it like Excel, like Mr. Liljelund referred earlier. It has also limitations, but it has, I think, from my opinion, it has many benefits compared to this pen and paper, because you can get more data automatically, and you can create automated analysis and everything. So it's easier. And one of the benefits with the Excel, while it's totally not developed for analysis or live tracking, it has that it can be customized in any way if you just have the knowledge. Then we have these commercial solutions. This one example of those, MyCoach, which it's maybe not that customizable, but it has many advantages. You can track in this solution all the actions in the field, and also track what is the location in the field where that action happened. So you get also the location data, which might be interesting. And the last version is this automated tracking system. One of these, and I think the current front runner on this is this ice hockey system. It's currently originally developed for ice hockey in Tampere, Finland. And the idea behind this ice hockey system is that they have put sensors for the puck and for all the players. The sensor is very small, so players and the puck don't recognize it. But the sensor gives data about the position of the sensor, so each player's position and the puck's position in all the time when the players are on the field. So it gives all the data, what is happening. It recognizes when the puck is passed, when it's shot and hits and everything. Let's see if this comes also someday to Floorball. I hope so. I don't know, but this is the current situation in the top of the world. What is the availability of the data? Of course, the benefits of this is that the data is objective, and compared to the others where the tracking is based on subjective observations. But even with this, if you had all the data in the world, what would you do? That's the question. So we get to our main topic here, which is the key elements in Floorball game analysis. And the key question is, what is important for us? If we have the pen and paper system, all data in the world, we need to ask this question: what is important for us? It might be different for different teams as well. These are examples from my team. What is important for us? High skill level, it can be based from our club values and depending what kind of players we have and everything. So skill level, ability to adjust well, a good balance between attacking and defending, high work ethic, such adjectives that describe what is important for us. If we go to game analysis, of course, that's not enough. We need to divide it some way. I usually divide them by the phases of the game. So first phase of the game here is the positive transition. So when we get the ball, and what is our goal in that? We try to score if that's smart. These are simplified versions of what we actually use, but it means that we try to score, like of course probably everyone else. But if we recognize that this is not very good, there is high chance of losing the ball, and when it might come counter attack, we prefer to keep the ball on our team and try to get the possession of the ball. For the negative transitions, we have different goals. Same with the attacking, with the structured attacking, and also for the defending. Okay, now we know what is important for us in general and in each of these phases of the game. The next question, and this one is the tricky one. How do we measure it, or how do we track it? And here are some examples which you probably already recognize. So we could positive transitions. We could track it based on dangerous counterattacks gained. So how many of those we get? This one example, we have like usually 2 or 3 measures for each of these 4 sections, and this is this example on one of those. Or attacking with the ball, or attacking when we have the goal is play with the ball to get good scoring chance. So here, the one way of measuring it is ball passing percentage. Of course, we have the common like scoring chances and such measures, but this is also one of those. And this good example also that why this is like ball passing like success percentage rate, why it's important, because we wanna play with the ball. We don't wanna lose it. We wanna create like good, very good, very good scoring chance, high expected goal chance. So that's why this is important for us. Maybe some other team, they wanna play like mainly with the counter attacks. They don't wanna have this number as high as we do. So you need to know what is important for you. Then you know how to measure what is important way of measuring this thing. And it's usually a combination of some measures, because it's very difficult to track it in just with one measure every time, especially that it would have like enough value to explain what is going on. Okay, so how do we analyze data? So we have this data now collected with our system, but of course we need to add it all this knowledge that our players have, our coaches have, like Petteri Nykky just described that the combined experience in floorball in a team is like hundreds of years, because all the players have played it and everyone has knowledge on it at some level. So we need to use all these 3 data, information, knowledge, everything that is related to make this analysis well. And you also probably guessed that where I'm heading with this is my question, that is when we add all this information and knowledge around, top of this information on the first slide. The question is now, is it now enough? I think it's at least better, because we have added so many levels of knowledge above these just numbers, just information. And what is the 4th one here? And maybe the second important, in addition to what is important question, is how do we use it? Because if we are not using the analysis or the results of the analysis, those have like no value. The purpose of the analysis is of course to develop and the understanding of the game, and in longer period of course increase the chance of winning the game. Where we use it, and of course it's described in the literature, of course one purpose is learning. Of course you learn when you're just doing the analysis, you learn by that. But of course when you get more and more data, you get like more understanding, more knowledge, more information, what is going on, and then you can even do the research and find the correlation between the winning and losing and maybe some other, for example, this blocking shots, which is very good. Second, why we and why you should do this is the communication, because a measurement is a very strong way of telling players what kind of game is won, because we have this saying that what you measure is what you get. So if we tell them that we measure this, it's important to block all the shots. So then they are the message is very clear to the players, and they know that they are being evaluated by the level of the shots they can block. And also feedback is we get very valuable information if we are achieving our goals as a team, individuals, or is our trainings, are they useful? Does it evolve to our game? What kind of information we get from that? And of course, for the players, that are they, because they have this very high bias of what is good, what is bad, if they are playing well or not. Usually they are telling that, yeah, I'm playing very good, I'm much better player than the other players in this team, and so on. So when we have all this data, it's very good that we can show them that, yeah, you're good on this and good on this, but maybe this is something that you should probably improve. So the next step. Well, at least you can't blame him for not using his data if we think that these ladders are the data. So he has quite amount of that. It might be quite difficult to use it that wrong if you have done all the previous steps that I described in the previous section. But this also underlines that any amount of data might not be enough. Even if we get all the data from the game, like everything, it's not enough if we are not using it smart. But what we can learn from this guy, in addition to using the data, is that he has a clear goal. He knows that he wants to see over the wall. Probably there is like floorball game going or something, but he has clear goal. And he has already started working towards it. And he has the data, in this case, if we call it ladders. But what he needs is the information that how ladders should be put up. Maybe not piling them, but putting them against the wall. And he also needs the knowledge to know how to climb the steps. I hope I was able to give you a tieto of the key elements in game analysis. And now it's your turn to take next step and use this knowledge, or otherwise this presentation has no value. Thank you.
There's a couple of questions for Miikka from our audience. Arthur from Russia has asked, what percentage is considered the norm for goalkeepers? Yeah, of course it depends on what level we are discussing, but usually in the F-Liga it's around 78%. And Lauri has asked, there's a famous Finnish proverb stating that there's a lie, a bigger lie, and then stats. Most of the information is based on subjective data collected manually by human interface, which each individual interpreting each situation subjectively. That means that the data would be different if a new person were to collect that same data. What kind of totally objective data can be collected manually or with sensors or whatnot? And what kind of information can be gathered and analyzed from it?
Yeah, that was a very long one.
Yeah,
it's true. It's always subjective, and especially when two people are doing the same thing, it's very difficult to get everything totally one-on-one right. But I think it's possible to find ways to find knowledge and the common ways of tracking things, that these are close enough. That's one thing. And the other thing is, when these are done in the club, it's usually one person doing it every time. So it's very good. So it's every time it's done at the same way. Of course, when, like, for example, shooting maps in the F-Liga, there are different people doing them, and there are some difficulties in that. And with good guidance, it can be like minimized, but of course, never it can be like totally right.
Thank you very much, Miikka Palvalin, and